Dear Derry, welcome to Motivational Monday. For those of you who don't know, who've never seen it before, Motivational Monday is a Monday where I try to come up with something motivational, inspirational, something to help people kind of get through the week because, it can be really tough. Mondays suck um, for some people. Today, I wanted to, okay, let me back up a little bit and say that recently, like over the past day and a half or so, I've been watching a lot of people debating back and forth about Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen, which are two kind of space sims that are being made right now. They're both in kind of an alpha state. And there's a lot of people, debating back and forth which one is better and blah, 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 blah. And I find this amusing because, as stated, both of them are pretty much in alpha state. I think if I had to choose between the two, Elite Dangerous is probably further along towards beta. They're very close to going full beta. Very close. There's still a few problems they need to sort out. But anyway, it has it has very little to do with what I'm actually talking about, which is integrity and fairness. Now, last night, Sunday night, I was streaming some Elite Dangerous. I was basically just hauling commodities from one station to another and buying them, selling them for a profit over here, and then buying this commodity and taking it over there, blah, blah, blah. And just space trucking is what I call it. And there were quite a few people in my stream watching the thing, and they were discussing, the various benefits and, the pluses and minuses and pitfalls and parades or something, some other word that starts with a P that indicates something positive. Maybe positives is a good word for that. And the debate, as one would predict on the internet, started getting a little bit heated. And then I was just looking at the forums this morning and looking through various threads and whatnot. And there's a lot of things where people are, bashing one game or the other back and forth. And I thought to myself, this night, the games are not finished. You you really shouldn't go in there and say, oh my God, this game sucks. It's not finished. It's not even close to finished. You can't say whether it sucks or not. I mean, you could say that you don't like the way it is right now. That's fine. But you can't say that this game sucks because it's not done yet. And I suppose that, for me, is the big thing. I mean, I see benefits to both games. I see, detriments in both games. Detriments, that's right. Well, anyway. I try to look at them, strip all the emotion out of whatever. Perhaps I have the benefit of having worked, in the video game industry before, doing QA work and whatnot. So maybe it's easier for me to kind of strip emotion out of the equation and just look at things based on absolute, undeniable, immutable fact. So maybe it's just easier for me to do that. Judge the games based on not only their current, situation, but where the intent is. And, here's the design plan. Here's where we are. Are they heading that way? Yes. Okay. Let's give them the year and a half they're asking for to see. And, we'll just keep an eye on it. Anyway. So getting finally to the point, is what this one is talking about is integrity and fairness. It's more about fairness than it is integrity, but it's kind of both. Because if you're going to not necessarily review it, but discuss it, because there's a huge difference between discussion and argument, or ranting. And when you get to a point where you're just ranting at people, they're going to shut down. They're not going to listen to you anymore because you're just ranting. But if you can be eloquent and professional in your, and this doesn't just go with video games, this goes with anything that might be it. There were people who were discussing, marriage equality in my stream last night. And there was a point where they were getting really heated. I'm like, guys, bring it down a notch. You guys are getting up about a 7. I need you down about a 3. Okay. It's just, you're welcome to discuss it. Just don't argue it. If you want to argue it, go somewhere else on the internet and do it. That's not what this stream is about. So in that there is integrity and fairness. Give your opponent the chance to state his case. Then you respond to whatever points that you want to respond to. Don't interrupt him. Let him finish them. If you're like, but I want to respond to that, fine. Have a notepad sitting by and just jot down, okay, respond to this point, respond to this point, respond to this point. And then when he's finished, or she, when they are finished, then you can respond to each of those points in turn and not look like a douche. So, finally, to wrap this all up into one nice, neat little statement, I found this one sentence that I think encapsulates it very, very well. Live so that when your children think of fairness and integrity, they think of you. Brilliant. That came from Jackson Brown Jr. So yeah, do that. Be an example of integrity and fairness, not just for kids, but for other people in your life as well. So do that. You'll probably live longer, honestly. Be careless.